watching American Trends. I'm Mary Burt-Godwin. You know what, friends? Girls just want to have fun, and the girls just want to have funding. This is the phrase of a company called Stella Labs. We've also met Sylvia Ma here on the program, and the CEO of Stella Labs is here today, Raven O'Neill. I'm so happy that you're here, Raven.
Thank you for having me.
This is such a small world, though, because you and I met, we're thinking about 12 years ago when we ran, well, I ran my first half marathon and maybe my last. No, I think I did too. But you have run a couple, maybe halves and fulls. But we trained together with Team in Training for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And we became Facebook friends. And then here we are all these years later. We have a mutual friend that connected us. And now you're here, you CEO of Stella Labs. This is such an amazing company. So tell us a little bit about Stella Labs.
So Stella Labs is a female-focused business accelerator. We focus on helping women start up, grow their businesses, and access to capital.
Okay, and on your website it says you've helped over 132 companies get started, which we think is maybe now more over 200.
Yeah.
Female-owned companies start up. How many years has Stella Labs been around?
Stella Labs has been around for, I want to say like 9 years now? Yeah, 9 years.
Okay, and you started as?
I started as a marketing consultant about 9 years ago.
Wow, it's so amazing, because now you live in Texas, but you're still helping out because the company is now, I mean, you can work remotely and virtually now everywhere, and you help women around the world, right?
Around the nation.
Around the nation, okay. And so I want to get started talking about Stella Labs helps females, and they have to, not audition, apply, right? And then they pitch to you, and you also have things called fast pitches. So I want to know what the difference is.
So there's a little separation. So our accelerator program is actually designed to help women go through the verticals needed to start up.
Okay.
So that application, the reason we look at an application is where are they at in their business? Where can we come alongside them? So as long as there's 50% ownership, most likely you'll be accepted in. The timing is just based on, we don't allow any ideas to overlap. So if we have someone, let's say, that's in like a hair care product space, she's the only one that can be in that space.
Oh, that's
great.
great.
Why we look at applications. So if we had like an overlap, we'd probably push one to later. Most women will get in at some point. It's just really positioning them where they need to be.
And so they would come to you with a business plan or idea, or will they have already started it? Where in the process? It depends, huh?
We pick up where you are and we walk alongside you at that spot.
Wow, okay.
But we do get a fair amount of them are either, I have this idea, I don't know what to do with it, I want to get it off the ground, but I'm not sure where to begin. We get a lot of that, and we get a lot of, I am ready to speak to investors, but I haven't gone down that path. Help me look at that.
And so do you partner or pair them up with other mentors in their industry?
We do.
Oh gosh, that's so great. And then how do you find those mentors?
Well, usually with founders, there's that idea of giving back. So we have a lot of mentors that we have met through the programming that are either have done it and so they're willing to give back and teach, or we have like the entrepreneur in residence that has done the program or is working in that founder industry somewhere that they're willing to just give their time back.
And then you mentioned the people that donate money or help startups with their funding. So the angels, you call them. Now, do people come to you? Do you go out and look for them? How does that work?
So
you kind of giggled there.
No, it's a little bit of both. We have a continuum on our own. So we have founders that come in that start with our program. They are going to go for angel investing or VC, because there are other ways to fund your business too. There are loans and there are all kinds of things, and we will look at that with you. But if you're going the investor dilutive funded way, we will then usually work with you to either look at where you go. We do have an angel investing arm, Stella Angels, but investors have their own thesis, and with their own thesis, they tend to stay in their lane, whatever that thesis is. So it's really finding the right investor for the right founder. So sometimes—
But you help with that process.
Yes.
So
yes.
Someone like me, that if I have this idea, I would come to you, but I don't have the foggiest notion how to get investors. That's something that you would help somebody with.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I think we also talked about you've helped raise over $2 million with your angel investors.
Within our programming, probably about 2 million. We also have a venture summit, which I think we're probably going to talk about. But
yes,
through our venture summit, we've raised well over 18 million.
So yeah, let's talk about. So there's Women's Venture Summit. That's an annual event that you host, and it's this weekend.
It is.
That's why you're here in San Diego, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so tell me how that got started and has, I'm sure it's grown over the years. There's the Women's Venture Summit. There it is. So tell me about how this works and what do you do there?
So the Women's Venture Summit was born 8 years ago. And it was born because our team within the ecosystem, so there's actually a very big startup ecosystem in San Diego. Our team really wanted to activate more women to invest in female-led startups. That's our primary goal. It's really getting that table to even on both sides.
Actually, that's a good question. Are all your angel investors women as well? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Our angel group is. Stella Angels is all women, but within the ecosystem, the investors we work with several other investment groups, and they do have men in there. So it was born to really activate more women to invest in female-led startups. It ended up being that it was hugely successful in access to capital for those founders. So we just kept building it. And so it's been going on for 8 years. Last year was the very first year. We pivoted to a completely virtual experience.
Is this one virtual this year too?
It is a tad hybrid. There is a viewing party at the Well in San Diego. And founders can, it's mostly founders that are registered for that, can attend. And some of the breakout sessions are curated for that in-person experience.
Okay. But otherwise, will it be on Zoom?
No, it is on a platform called SwapCard.
Oh, okay.
And we actually produce it in studio. It is then fed into SwapCard. So it looks a little like Zoom, but SwapCard has a lot more functionality than
what's it called? SwapCard?
SwapCard.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one. Can you do breakout rooms like you would in
They're called roundtables, and we will be hosting roundtables.
Okay. I mean, I love that functionality in Zoom. That's the only experience that I have with that. But it certainly has helped during COVID when we needed to have those meetings, and it was like breakout rooms could be so easy. But these roundtables can be facilitated the same way.
Correct.
And so at these events, at the summit, there's something called the Women's Fast Pitch, right? So then do you select a certain amount of women that can pitch at this?
So we have 6 regions. It's the 5 national regions, plus San Diego has its own, because that's where we were born.
We're the best.
And we have 6 regions.
Around the country.
Exactly.
Okay.
We accept applications. Applicants then can apply. When they apply, we have a third-party panel of judges that review applications. They select the top 5 to 6, depending on the year. This year was 5, last year was 6.
Okay.
And then we choose them to pitch against each other per their region, and the winner of each region goes on to pitch on day 2 of the Venture Summit for the opportunity for a $10,000 investment.
Okay, so explain that to me. They go up against each other, and then who votes on those?
We have a third-party panel of judges, and those are usually active investors and community members.
Okay, great. So you whittle it down to the 6. They have another fast pitch. They have to submit another video or whatever.
They don't. Once they're selected per the application, they pitch in that region. And then if they win that region, they go on to pitch the Venture Summit.
And for the pitch, if somebody was thinking about doing this, what would they prepare? A video? I just saw a video of someone kind of speaking in a warehouse. So, do you do a PowerPoint? Would you do a video to showcase what you want to do?
In the application, we do ask for your pitch deck. So that would be your PowerPoint. And then we ask for a pitch video. And that pitch video doesn't have to be the pitch you're going to present to us in the competition. It is more like, let's see how you pitch.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So then you get down to these there's 6 because 5 regions in San Diego.
We have a wild card almost every year.
Ooh, wild card. I like it.
Every once in a great while, the judges can't pick, so they pick 2. I try not to let them do that. But.
Okay. And so then on day 2 of this summit, they will pitch to people that are there.
Yes. It's all the attendees, which is a mix of investors, entrepreneurs, and community members.
Okay.
So they will pitch to everybody that is attending, and then the attendees can then break out with an active investor and learn how to do due diligence on those founders.
Oh, well, explain that a little bit more.
So due diligence is a process that founders go through with interested investors, and it's really just making sure their ducks are in a row.
Yeah.
Are they ready for that investment?
Yes.
And so on day 1, we're actually going to have a panel that is going to talk about due diligence in all the different stages of your funding. So pre-seed all the way to Series A.
Okay.
And what does that look like? Because due diligence will look different in each different phase of your raise.
Right.
So we'll go over that on day 1. Day 2, they pitch. Then we have these breakout sessions in the roundtables.
Okay.
Where they're facilitated by an active investor. And they go through a due diligence package And really, this is like, we're looking at these founders. Are they investable? Who would we invest in based on the pitch and this information?
Okay, are they able to ask questions, kind of like on Shark Tank?
They do get to
the
ask
panel gets
one,
to ask questions. Okay.
They do get to ask one question of one founder. It's pre-assigned, and that's just to keep the time tight.
Yeah, because it could go on.
It could go on a lot.
On and on and on. Yeah. Okay, we've got to take a break.
Okay.
So stay with me right here because I want to hear more. We're talking to Raven O'Neill, CEO of Stella Labs, all about the Women's Venture Summit. Female entrepreneurs, girls just want to have fun, ding. I love that phrase. And everyone home, stick around because we'll be right back with more America Trends right after this. You're watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burt-Godwin, chatting it up here with Raven O'Neill, CEO of Stella Labs, here in town for the Women's Venture Summit this weekend, all focusing on fostering innovation with women entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs. Now, how did you get started with Stella Labs?
So I actually took an idea I had, and I was in ideation, no idea how to start a business. I took my idea through the actual program I now run.
You did it yourself.
I did do it myself.
And how was it?
It was wonderful. I learned so much. And even though I didn't go on to pursue it, I now know how to.
I was going to say, what was your idea? Can you tell us?
It was a female-owned and operated oil change shop.
Ah, I'd sign up for that.
Yeah, so I took it through. So I do know how to create a business plan, look at the financials. I've pitched to investors. I pitched at Women's Venture Summit, and it's, I think, third year.
Oh,
so
really? So you did all the things that are happening this weekend?
Correct.
Well, that's really great because you can tell these women, look, I've been in your shoes, I've done all this, and it works. I mean, yours didn't work in that way, but it also, you never know where it's going to take you.
Exactly.
Right? And you're going to learn so much through the process. So at the Women's Venture Summit, you have the fast pitch. Fast pitch. Not first pitch. That's a baseball. And tell me what other things. You have panels?
We do. We have a bunch of panels. So the overall idea with Women's Venture Summit every year is that investors and founders and community members come at the same time. We talk through things that everyone within that ecosystem can understand, relate to, learn from, all of the above. And then we slowly learn to break out. And then at the end of the day, each time it breaks out, investors take one track and our entrepreneurs and community members take another track if they want to.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And so what are some of the panels that you have?
We have so many exciting panels. Our number one panel, or our first panel that kicks us off, is called the Women Power Index. We're going to look at the state of women in business and from all different aspects of women in business.
So this was an interesting topic because I know the stats coming out back in June were like women were dropping out of the workforce in droves because of COVID and staying home with their kids. And what does that look like for female entrepreneurship?
Yes. So we will be looking at that. This panel is actually one of the ones that is not entrepreneur investor focused. We do have Cameron Rogers joining us from Elevest. We have the founder of the Mom Project joining us.
Okay.
We have a lady from the San Diego, I think she works for the city of San Diego. And then we have an active investor joining us. And it's really looking at all the different pieces of women in business and how that affected all the different pieces. And how do we come together as a community to support changing that trajectory?
I mean, one of the stats I heard was that 2 million women left the workforce. That's insane.
Read this morning that it's estimated at 3 million now.
Really?
But 2 million was the news coming out at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's really hard. And I was thinking of talking to you about what does it look like for women in the workforce and specifically in entrepreneurship? In this day and age where we're thinking it's getting better and the ceilings are being shattered and all of that. We're thinking. So what is it from your point of view?
We're thinking it does because we see the stories highlighted in the news and it's such a big thing. But the truth is it's happening, but it's not happening at the rate it should be. It's not happening at the level it should be. So, I mean, founders still struggle to gain access to capital. Female founders still struggle to gain access to capital. Women are still, there's still pay disparity. There's all the issues. It's just we highlight when it is changing. So we do see that it is changing, but it's still not changing how I think it should be, how we probably think it should be changing.
Right. And are there things that can be done to help? I mean, you guys are doing it. That's what you are all about, is trying to help this, facilitate this, and get this message out and help females start their businesses.
And we actually, our closing panel is, what are the active ways we can make that change? So we will have a panel of men and women actually that will talk through what are things we can do within the community to make those changes. Not just say, oh, these are things that need to be changed, but these are things you can do to change.
Yeah, I love that when I go to some sort of a conference like this. I want action items. Like, how can I, because people talk in lofty terms a lot of times in their speeches or in panels. And I want to know, I want to write down what I can do today to make progress.
Yeah.
Right. So if you could say one thing to, let's say, a female entrepreneur at home, what would that be?
Go out and ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. One of the things we constantly talk about within our own internal team is how if everyone just turned around that's done it and said, how can I help one person? And that one person did that, and that one person did that, and turned around and just asked, how can I help one person? That multiplication would just be it would be so helpful.
So it's interesting because it's both sides. As the entrepreneur is not being afraid to ask for help, saying.
Correct. And there's so many people that want to help.
Right.
We're so busy that if you don't ask, we don't also, like, that's one thing we actively want to change is how do we actively say, how can I help you? Because we're not asking.
Right.
Because we're so busy. So when they ask, we're absolutely willing to help, but we're not asking how can we help.
Well, and also you probably think they'll ask if they want help, but people don't, because especially probably, I'm going to make a generalization here, but as a woman, you're like, I got this, I don't need help, I can do it, because that's the mindset we feel like we need to have. But we actually do need the help, but we don't want to ask for it. So I think the two sides are ask for help if you need it, and then also if you're in a position to help, how can I help? You know, who and where can I help?
How can I help you?
Yeah, how can I help you? I love that. I had a former boss said that frequently, and he would say, how can I help you? I thought that's such a great, you know, how can I help? It's those small little words, but they really think, oh, you know what? Okay, let me think about this. I actually do need help. And say something actionable, right?
Yep.
To the other person.
I even try that now in my own, like when I'm doing advisory, whatever it is, depending on where the conversation goes. If I don't have an action item at the end of the conversation, I try to ask, how can I help you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I even do it with my kids when they're running late for school or something. I used to go to the car and like honk the horn, you know, hurry up. And I think, how about I go help them get ready? How can I help you find your shoes or get your backpack or whatever? I mean, it's like the little things even in your small home life or personal life to your work life or to entrepreneur business life, right? I mean, bosses asking that to employees, I think is really important, right?
Yeah.
But it's a hard thing because we do get caught up.
You're so busy.
And we're so wrapped up in our own ego.
Busy. Well, not even that, it's just busy. Like everybody's so busy and like we don't take that moment to stop and
so where can we find, we got to wrap it up this show, and I'm wishing you all the success this weekend with this Women's Venture Summit and the fast pitch. It's the fast pitch.
And it's the fast pitch finals.
Fast pitch finals. Okay.
Fast pitch finals.
Where can we find you and Stella Labs?
Probably the easiest way is on any social media. Our Venture Summit specific handle is at WeAreWVS. Okay. And if you're going for Stella Labs, it's Stella Labs _org.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Raven. It was so great to see you again. And best of luck to you. I love what you guys are doing out there to help women. And everyone at home, stick around or stay tuned. Every night we're here Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. And we'll see you again tomorrow night.